Over the past year, I have been on quite a journey. I am happy to say I am currently down 43 pounds. I have more energy than I've had in years. My libido is happy and healthy. And I finally feel like I'm coming back home to myself. But it wasn't always this way. For a long time, I think too long to mention, I struggled with depression and anxiety, and I didn't even realize those were two of the more than 80 possible symptoms of menopause. Like so many women, I thought I just needed to push harder, eat cleaner, or try a new workout. But no matter what I did, something still felt off. And that was until I discovered hormone replacement therapy and began getting real answers. Welcome to Nourish with Michelle Fox, your guide to living a vibrant life after 40. If you have ever struggled with consistency in your self care or felt confused about how to truly support your body during this season of life, you are in the right place, my friend. Over this 8-part series, you'll hear inspiring, educational, and real conversations designed to help you nourish your mind, body, and soul so you can feel strong, confident, and fully alive. I am thrilled to share this 8-part series with my guest expert, Kimberly Cunningham. Kimberly is a board-certified nurse practitioner who has been serving Colorado for over 20 years. She brings a wealth of experience from emergency medicine to internal medicine to healthy aging clinics. And she's the founder of Cunningham Clinic. After recovering from a life-changing injury through hormone replacement therapy, Kimberly has dedicated her career to helping people look and feel better through functional medicine and aesthetics. She's also a published author, a faculty member at multiple universities, and a national trainer for Biote Medical and Allergan Aesthetics. Her passion shines through in every patient she serves. And before we dive in, I want to share an important note. I personally seek treatment from Kimberly at Cunningham Clinic, but nothing in these conversations is meant to diagnose or treat you. Please consult your own provider before making any medical decisions. So, let's talk about what it really takes to thrive in this chapter of life. Today, I am so thrilled to be back with my good friend, Kimberly. Kimberly, welcome back.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
This is one of my favorite subjects because I feel like this is where I should say, your work and my work kind of intertwines as
Mhm.
far as finding the confidence. We're going to talk about health. We're going to talk about just what happens during midlife, specifically for women. And I'm going to ask some questions. We're going to chat a little bit, actually, a lot of it about how to redefine sexy and how to get sexy back, specifically from my friends that I've heard from that are like, good for you, Michelle, but it ain't happening over here. I'm like,
Oh, it
but
can.
it can, right?
Absolutely. Yes.
So I wanted to actually just start off for both of us to share more personally, just a little bit about our story around how we found our confidence around this age and with the hormonal shifts. And in our first episode, we talked about, and if you haven't seen the first episode, go back specifically on YouTube so you can see all of the hardware that came out of this woman's tiny little body. It was incredible how much hardware she showed us. So go back and look at that. But as far as your confidence, because you walk around as a very confident woman. You are businesswoman extraordinaire. You give talks. You are teaching. You're still in the clinic working with women, hands-on. You are leading a beautiful staff of people. Like, where did that confidence come from?
Well, I started off in life being an overachiever. So I showed up that way. I love to just dive into whatever subject matter I'm excited about. Then I love healthcare and I love this niche that I'm in now, which is functional medicine, which is how did it go wrong? And then how can I put it back? And how can I help the body get back? Because I don't want to be paternalistic when it comes to healthcare. It's not, I'm forcing your body to do something. That is never how I see healthcare. It is, I'm asking you and your body's permission to allow me to help. And how can I help you get back what you have? I like to talk about my dad is a scratch golfer and he'll be 80 this year.
Okay.
So he's about to be
But tell me what scratch golfer means.
a handicap of 0 on tournament day. He carries a handicap of 5, which in golf is unheard of.
As in good or bad?
Really good.
Oh, he's real. Okay, so he's
Yeah, he's
amazing.
very
He's 80. Okay,
He
great.
got his first hole-in-one within 6 months of picking up his first set of golf clubs.
Oh my word.
He's a natural
Good
athlete.
dad.
He was a walk-on starting point guard at Purdue University in the early 70s. And people who know that team know it's a really special team, and he was the point guard. And so if he hadn't been military, he was on a ROTC scholarship, he probably would have played professional basketball.
Wow.
So natural athlete, very gifted in golf. Now, he's almost 80. Now, I can get him back his golf with hormone replacement therapy and with functional medicine and all the different interventions that I do at my clinic because he had it when he was younger.
Oh.
So people walk in, yeah. So no, because I started him in his late 60s on hormone replacement therapy.
Right.
And all the other things that I do, sugar balancing, vitamin D balancing, thyroid balancing. There's a whole program. But I can get him back what he had when he was younger. So if someone walks in and says, I want to have that handicap. If you had it when you were younger, there's a really good chance I can get it back for you. If you didn't have it when you were younger. So I'm making you, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But
almost like peeling off some layers to get back to where you used
get it
to
back.
be. Yes. Okay.
And so for me, what was really hard was my injury knocked me out of everything. It knocked me out of work. It knocked me out of teaching. It knocked me out of driving a car. I couldn't walk very far. And when I could walk, it had to be a paved surface. And the most interesting places in Colorado are where the pavement ends.
Right. Of course.
I couldn't get to any of them. Yeah.
Capital of the world, it feels like sometimes.
And then for those 4 years, I lived in a body that couldn't be touched. So a broken pelvis and pelvic fusion surgery and all that hardware I showed you doesn't allow for sexual activity, doesn't allow for orgasms, not even by yourself.
Of course, because one thing goes off and everything collapses, right?
So that was a very long, lonely collection of years.
Isolating, Kimberly.
And then when I found testosterone replacement therapy for women and I found functional medicine approaches to women in midlife, 40s, 50s, 60s, and healthy aging, so beyond, and got my own hormones balanced, the brakes came off and I could get back to doing all the things that I like to do and I want to do, which includes everything. Yeah. So yes, I teach at 2 universities and I teach for 2 medical companies, one in aesthetics and one in hormone replacement therapy. I will often have a student with me, either from Regis or University of Colorado here in Denver. I see patients in my clinic and I'm writing a second book. And my first book was a #1 new release on Amazon. So
when we hold it up here, great sex never gets old. Amen and alleluia. I read it cover to cover 3 times already. I'm sure I'll start it again, except for that I'm really excited about your new book. So
yes, it'll be
carry on. But
so what I like to do is all the things.
Yes.
And so I was able to get that back for me through hormone replacement therapy. And so when women lose confidence in their middle years, which is 40s, 50s, and 60s, so much of that has to do with the loss of what you need in your body, which is your hormones.
Didn't you also say that this is the time most women, like the highest rate, and you're better with stats and all the numbers. What I intuited, what you were saying, is that this is the time where the most prescriptions for antidepressants are given to women at this age group.
And divorce.
Yes, which just gave me goosebumps. That just is so upsetting when we could depending small little tweaks to turn that around.
So depending on the data set, it's either age 40 to 50 or 45 to 55 is the most common decade for a woman to be first prescribed an antidepressant and or file for divorce or get divorced. Now, possibly she suddenly stopped making serotonin in her 4th decade of life, or it's not a serotonin problem. It's a hormone problem. So is it her thyroid? Is it her vitamin D? Is it her testosterone? And those are 3 things that completely independently will cause symptoms of depression. So there's something called the Beck Depression Index, and there are different indices. It's a survey.
Okay.
And it's a clinically validated survey. And there are a few other ones, I like Beck, that when you fill it out, it will say yes, clinically depressed, or no.
Okay.
So the Beck Depression Index can diagnose depression, but it has no idea why.
Oh, right.
And it's the why that matters.
Right.
Because if this is not a serotonin problem and you go on selective serotonin reuptake inhibitor,
Nice little slip.
an SSRI,
That's what I thought you were about to say.
so SSRIs,
Yeah.
selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, are the most common antidepressants that we use in this country.
Okay.
They cause sexual side effects,
I'm
orgasmic
guessing.
delay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So by the time you
Well,
reach
depression.
orgasm, it's been 2 days. You run through every fantasy in your head and your partner's exhausted, or your battery died in your toy. So that's not better. They also cause weight gain.
Yep.
And we already talked about in another episode the age 40 to 50 weight gain, age 50 to 60 weight gain, and causes. So the last thing we want to do is throw a medication on there that makes all of that worse. I like to look at physiologically, where should the body be around age 30 to 35?
Okay.
Where is it today by some very specific expanded labs? And then I put back what's missing first. Then we see, do we still need an antidepressant?
And with me, I know I definitely was going through depression and I didn't do a Beck test. I didn't even get it clinically diagnosed by a doctor. I probably should have, looking back now. Actually, I shouldn't say that because I found you.
Would
Like
not
it all worked
help.
out. Exactly. I wouldn't have got the answer.
If you'd gone on
Okay.
antidepressant,
Yeah.
here's the standard of care. You go on an antidepressant, you
Okay.
come back in 3 to 6 months, depending on their practice standards that they're following. There's the Institutes of Medicine standards. There's the American Academy of Family Physicians standards. There's a few different standards you can follow. So you would have come back 5 pounds heavier and no better.
Yeah.
And they would have
Yep.
increased your dose because we need to titrate up to effect.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And once again, on that index, still meeting depressive diagnostic criteria, but there's no way to check the volume of serotonin in your synaptic cleft. That's a tiny little space between your neurons in your brain. So this is all theoretical. So again, we can diagnose you with depression, but that piece of paper has no idea why. So that's why we need functional medicine labs. We need to know what else is going wrong. If we fix those things, then did the symptoms get better? And if they did, it wasn't a serotonin problem. It was a testosterone problem or a thyroid problem or a GLP-1 problem, because we're finding that people with not enough glucagon-like peptide, GLP-1, which is made in the stomach or the gut, they are higher risk for depression. And when you give them back that peptide, which is the once a week shot,
Yes.
their
Thanks,
symptoms of mood
literally.
swings get better.
Yes. Everything's getting better for me.
Everybody has
Everything's
seen
getting better.
a
Yes.
child have a sugar rush and then a crash. And if you've been the mother of that child,
3 of them.
you just get through that day and that's okay. But every time there's a sugar rush and a crash, you're seeing firsthand what's happening with sugar dysbiosis. And so if you see someone in their 40s and 50s and 60s who are struggling with mood and they're pre-diabetic, might they have a GLP-1 deficiency, not a serotonin deficiency? So being thoughtful about it, it's just taking a little bit more time and a couple more tests to really get a good picture. But what happens is women hit their 40s, 50s, and 60s, these things go undiagnosed. They go through menopause and confidence is gone.
Yes.
They don't feel good.
Because the clothes are
don't-
like tight. Sex for me became painful. So I'm like, oh, that's definitely not sexy.
No, but things hurt. You're not going to keep doing them.
Right. And then when you go out with your friends and they're wearing cute little clothes, I'm like, I wish I could wear that. It's like the confidence, like daily, just dips. But I have to say how I got into your circle. Well, circle of care, I will say, was Barbara Brooks. I just remember, I was like, why will not this woman not shut up about how much better she's feeling? And look at these clothes. And she lost the weight and she's dancing on TikTok and Instagram and all the things. I'm like, and finally, I think by the time of the video, I'm like, okay, Michelle, you could be jealous or you can do something about it. I'm like, Kimberly. And one of the main reasons I send all of my friends to you is because of the way you go about the lab test. I mean,
I am neurotic.
the things, and we'll talk in a couple more episodes just about how the medical monster, for lack of a better word, treats it very differently than you. Because I will say I have been dismissed more times than I can count. But with you, you're like, no, this is what shows up on this lab. This is what this shows up on this lab. And this is what we're going to talk about. And this is what we're going to fix. I'm like, oh. And again, more goosebumps. Like you have fixed so many things. The 40-pound weight loss I've gone through. My blood sugar is stable. I'm sleeping better. I mean, not last night. You and I both talked before we hit record, but last night was
We both have
challenging. Yeah,
everything mess.
other reasons. Yeah, but hormones better, libido's up. I'm like, and well, I shouldn't say all, because it's been a process. It's been about a year of us looking at lab results, getting things balanced. But as simple as I can make it, I will say it's the pellets that I'm on and also the GLP-1 that's like having everything balanced. And my confidence is sky high. Like I'm wearing like one-piece dresses now. Like, can't tell me I'm not cute if I'm checking myself out again. Thanks. I love my
But you
body.
get to feel like you. That's
Yes.
the most important is you get to have you back.
Yes.
And the whole you can't pour from an empty cup.
Correct.
Right. You can't, we're the caregivers and we so rarely take care of ourselves. You cannot take care of somebody else if the only house you get to live in, your body, is burning to the ground underneath you.
Thank you.
You have to take care of the house you live in.
Yes.
So I wanted to touch on, you said you've been dismissed by other providers. So American medicine is very good at diagnosing it, medicating it, and seeing a year.
Yes.
And that's not a care plan. Also, a diagnosis like depression doesn't dive into the functional medicine piece. So my entire practice is either A4M or in the process of getting A4M certified. So all of my providers are the American Academy of Anti-Aging Medicine certified.
Oh, know the way that sounds.
A4M, I'm actually pro-aging. To get older, let's get older.
Yes.
But there are two certifying agencies in the United States for functional medicine, ISM and A4M. And so if you are listening to this podcast or watching this and you are not in Denver, Colorado, finding a provider that is A4M or IFM certified will get you someone who looks at your plan like I do, which is how can we get you to live to be closer to 100 with everything working along the way?
Yeah.
Your brain, your body, your sexual health, all the things that you want to have. Can we get all of that for you for as long as possible? And that's a very different mindset from box checking. Do you have high blood pressure? Let's medicate that. Do you have bad cholesterol? Let's medicate that. Do you have prediabetes? Let's medicate that. By the way, those are 3 different disease states that the GLP-1s treat. So I can take care of all 3 by fixing the sugar inflammation, which is probably the root cause of why all these systems are coming out of where they need to be. So if I'm just diagnosing a kidney or a blood pressure or a cholesterol, I'm not thinking about the whole body. When I'm thinking about the whole body, okay, all these systems went sideways.
Right.
Why?
Right.
And then let me look at what markers might tell me what's wrong globally. So fixing blood sugar is one of those things that corrects blood pressure and lipids, as well as visceral fat, as well as has been shown to get you more years, both number of years as well as healthy years. So if I can get your A1C below 5.5, I can diminish the risk of Alzheimer's. There's all these things I can do with that. And what we see is over the course of about a year, all those other things that might have had their own medication regimens, they get better. Throw in testosterone, throw in hormones.
Yeah.
And now we're really talking. So thyroid health. So it's all the same things that I do. But when you look at basic functionality of the body, when it stops being functional and we get that functionality back, the body can heal itself.
Yes.
So that's it's a different lens. It's a different way of looking at healthcare. And I'm board certified Western medicine, American medicine. I know exactly how to do that. I just think it's not the right approach to getting people what they want, which is a body and a brain and a sex life that's working.
Yes. And you say that's what they want, which this is what you want. This is what I want.
That's what you want.
There's a growing, I don't know if you've seen this online. There's this growing like group of women around our age. They're called the We Do Not Care Club. Once you get of a certain age, we don't care to bow down to the patriarchy. We don't care to bow down to our kids. So that part, yes, totally on board. The part I'm not on board with though is that we don't care about our bodies any longer. Like it's almost like we've given up. I don't care. Like some of those videos, I'm like, no, like I do care about my body and I do want you to care. Like these women, not these women, some women I feel get to this age and it's just hands up. It's like, I give up. There's nothing I can do. This is what my mom went through. This is what my grandma went through. Is that common for you to see in your circle and or the people that come to see you?
No, because usually by the time someone walks into my clinic, they've had enough and they want to get better.
Yes, yes,
So they're done being, and
yes.
it's not about the number on the scale or the
No.
size on the clothing tag as much as, can you walk up a flight of stairs? Are you in pain?
Yes.
Are you sleeping well normally? And are you able to do the things you want to do? I have many men and women in my practice that have a BMI or body mass index that is in the unhealthy range.
Sure.
Now, some are because they're elite athletes. When you have that much muscle mass, your weight to height ratio doesn't match the curve anymore. Sometimes it's because they're very tall or very short. Again, it's a bell curve. And if you're on the edges of the bell curve, it doesn't work for you.
Sure.
But I have some women who are tall, buxom, and very healthy. I've got one, she has her own, called an executive farm. She
What
has
does
her
that
own
mean?
farm. So it's a little small farm.
Like with chickens and
Yes, so she
see.
has like, I think it's 6 cows,
Oh, I love it.
because that's the number of cows it takes for the state of Colorado to call you a farm,
Oh, okay.
which
Good to
I
know.
think changes her tax bracket. Anyway, so
Okay.
she has an executive farm, and so she has her cows and she has her chickens, and I think she's got a couple of goats, and she has her garden, and her BMI says that it's too high. It says overweight. But her labs are fantastic. She's pain-free. She's got great muscle tone, and she's out there throwing bales of hay around.
Love that. So very much in shape.
She would definitely be a plus size model.
Sure.
But she feels good and she's able to do the things that she wants to do in her life. By the way, she also has a great sex drive now.
See,
She did not before she came in. She was not able to keep up with her farm. Everything hurt. She was always tired. She had no interest in sex. I get labs on everyone because I will get labs on everyone. But I have a saying that if it's the end of the night and you're in bed next to your partner and you love dearly, and you could either watch TV, have a cookie, or have sex, and sex is at the bottom of that list, I already know you don't have enough testosterone.
Yeah.
I already know. I'll still get the lab to prove it, but I already know.
Yeah.
And that was her. She just was too tired. And she usually fell asleep before her partner. And so there wasn't any intimacy. And then she said, we feel like roommates.
Yeah.
And they were losing that connection as well.
Yeah.
And so she's very happy now. She's back to throwing, she's in her late 50s throwing bales of hay.
And that's the part
I'm
I
like,
do
this
care about.
She has horses as well.
So that's the part I want us to join their conversation of, yes, we don't care as far as the patriarchy piece and leading into the kids piece, but we do care about feeling good in our bodies.
Yes.
It doesn't necessarily mean it needs to look a certain way, but it does need to feel good. Like we deserve
and be
to
functional.
feel good.
I mean, if somebody is carrying an extra 40, 50 pounds and their blood sugar is off and their hormones are off and their thyroid is off and their vitamin D is off, they're not going to weather anything well.
Right.
Whether that be the next pandemic or just a regular flu season, all of the data shows that those are the people that will be hospitalized or die, with or without vaccinations. The data also shows that people who are inflamed, which weight is a measure of inflammation, blood sugar that's too high is a measure of inflammation, LDL or bad cholesterol that's too high is a measure of inflammation. All these markers of inflammation, if they are not corrected, people can't respond to vaccinations. So immunizations stop working. Now, almost all immunizations stop working around age 75 because we don't have enough thymus-based peptides in our body anymore to actually mount a response. There are things you can do to make that better, and that's a whole another series of podcasts on peptide health. But you see that immunodeficiency happen decades earlier in people who are unhealthy. So it's not about size.
Right.
It's about health. And what are your biological markers and what's your lived day like? And when they're both good, we're good. So yeah, I do want them to care about that.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And so the women who don't care, what do you think that's about?
You'd asked me before about confidence.
Yeah.
And how to get confidence back.
Yeah.
I do think that when you hurt all the time, when you don't feel good in your own skin, you don't feel good when you're naked in front of a mirror, you lose confidence. When sex is painful, you lose confidence, both in the ability to attain orgasm and in the ability of your partner to not hurt you. And so then your partner also loses confidence because your partner doesn't want to hurt you.
Right.
And as we hit 40s and 50s and 60s, so often bedroom confidence really wanes. The desire is waning or gone. The ability is waning or gone. And then our self-image is really taking a hit or can take a hit. And so what we want to do is give women that back.
Yes.
We want to
Yes.
give it back. And it's a process. You said yours is a journey you're still on.
Absolutely.
You mentioned Barbara Brooks,
Yeah.
who is a force of nature.
Yes, we love her.
She started Second Act Women here in Denver. Now it's a nationwide group to support women of all ages, but primarily over 40, over 50, over 60, in their businesses, in their health, in their relationships, in their planning. What do you do with your kids while your parents are aging and they're sandwiched in between? She's just amazing. And her journey was over a year. And she shared it publicly, so I'm allowed to talk about it. I can share stories, but when I specifically mention patients, it's ones that have shared publicly their journeys. And hers was over a year, and she's still fine-tuning some of it and feeling better and better all the time.
And looks amazing. Like, she's just radiant. She walks in the room and you can just tell, like, she's comfortable in the skin that she's in.
And her cardiologist said, whatever you're doing, keep doing it. So she was in a high-risk monitoring group because her mother had a stroke and is no longer living independently. And she's shared that journey very publicly. And Barbara was a really high risk for some poor health outcomes as well. And she came to my clinic. We did all the things that we do. And she is not in that risk bucket anymore.
Thanks to Kimberly.
And my team.
Yeah. Amazing. Yeah. Amazing. And I love that you brought up Barbara because she also does a lot of talk around being a single woman and pleasure for the single woman.
Yes.
And so when we talk about low confidence laying next to our partner, that's one kind of like lowering confidence. But for our single friends and your single clients, what are some of the conversations you have there?
It's interesting. I had a woman come in. This was 7 years ago now. Stunningly beautiful woman, and had gone into traumatic menopause. She had a trauma happen in her life, and that was it. She never got a period again. So you can actually have a traumatic menopause.
I've never heard that before, but it makes sense because the body.
I've had a few of those
knows.
patients. I've had a few of those patients actually. Yeah. So this particular one, she was, I believe, 47 when she went into menopause, and that was it. Okay. And so she was in her mid-50s.
Okay.
And I'd come through that, had recovered from that, had her financial situation had recovered, everything had recovered. And except she was on 4 mood stabilizers, 2 blood pressure medications, a cholesterol medication,
oh my word,
and a diabetes medication.
Wow. Just wow. So that's a lot.
That was bad.
Okay.
So I got her labs and it was Armageddon. It was awful. And so I showed her all those things that were wrong. And she didn't need any of those medications before this trauma had happened. And so I did all the things I normally do. And it takes time. The last thing we do well when we are in our 40s, 50s, and 60s is bounce. Children can bounce.
Right.
I'm not bouncing anymore.
Right.
It's not happening. Right. So very slowly, I got her the base built up and we started peeling away the medications. And when everything really was working, about 6 months in, she called me. She said, "This is ridiculous." And I said, "Why?" She says, "I don't have a boyfriend. And now I have all this sex drive." Oh, good. Yeah. So it was great.
Moving in the right direction.
So we had a whole talk and she came in and she just had this light to her. It was non-existent when I first met her. And she had this light and this excitement. She's a stunningly beautiful woman. And I said, "Well, you didn't have a single pheromone in your body that you were emitting. You weren't going to make a friend, let alone a boyfriend."
Sure.
Now everything's working.
Yes.
So we talked about vibrators and we talked about sexual toys and aids, and we're going to talk about those here in a little bit. And because I didn't want her to get carpal tunnel. Oh.
There's assistance for these things.
And which is great. And she even said to me, she said, "Well, my gynecologist won't talk about this with me." And I thought, well, that's weird because they're the experts in the parts that she was happily using again.
Didn't you call them the vagina doctor?
Yeah.
The vagina doctor should talking about vibrators.
And the clitoris and the body parts and where they are and how to stimulate them. When it's not working, here's what you can do about it. So she and I had that conversation. And that's the beginning of me having these conversations because I'm fix-it person. And so fine, if no one will talk about it, I will, which is part of this. And thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
6 months later, by the way,
yes,
she was engaged.
Aww.
She's been married for 4.5 years.
Love that.
And a long engagement. And they're so cute. They are so cute. Yeah.
And as far as though when she was waiting for Prince Charming, was she open to playing with the vibrators and or having that
Well,
conversation?
we had a
with
conversation
them?
about it. I did not go shopping with her,
Okay,
but I did tell
sure.
her where to shop. And she said, thank you.
I love it. And I know you've taken other groups of women shopping and you brought us a few treats.
I did. We brought some toys
Uh,
today.
Kimberly is hooking us up. What do you want to share with us? These all look so fun.
So we have a collection of toys.
Yes.
And first, we're going to spend some time talking about anatomy.
Okay.
The female clitoris is actually much larger than most women believe. So here is our vulva model. This is the vaginal opening, the urethral opening. And you see this little tiny purple dot here. That is the glans clitoris, which is part of the clitoris, which is erectile tissue, just like the male penis. The clitoris is erectile. And this glans clitoris is what everybody calls the clit, or where you put the vibrator. But when we take it out, look how much there is.
So juicy.
So
Love
it.
it.
So you can see. And so this is the whole clitoris. So we have the glans clitoris, we have the legs of the clitoris, and we have the bulbs.
And all of this is erectile tissue.
All of it.
When it can all get stimulated.
It
whole piece of it.
It gets up to 6 times its size.
Whoa. Wow. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So just like the male penis, there are blood vessels that come into the clitoris, and blood vessels and vascular health are hormone driven. So when you lose your testosterone, you lose your vascular health. That's why the blood pressure goes up, the cholesterol starts getting sticky in the blood vessels, and you lose erectile functionality. So men get erectile dysfunction, but so do women. ED is a women problem as well as a male problem because this is erectile tissue. And without testosterone, you can't get an erection, which means you can't have an orgasm. Doesn't matter if you're male or female.
Amazing.
We talked about that testosterone, the allele, the genes for testosterone is on the X chromosome.
That's right.
Not the Y. And women have 2 X chromosomes.
Right. Amazing.
So this is the clitoris.
Okay.
This is the glans clitoris here in the front. And that's where everybody puts the vibrator. There are a large collection of nerve endings here. Testosterone is also responsible for nerve ending health.
Okay.
So if your vasculature is atrophying, receding, and your nerve endings are atrophying, receding without testosterone, there go your orgasms.
So when I first got related, but a little slightly off, but when I first got my first testosterone pellet from you, I would say week 2, I started feeling things in my jeans down there, like when I'd sit, and you're like, that's normal. Yes. I'm like, is that this or is that part of this? So it's part of I feel it in my jeans.
That you're feeling the pelvic floor.
Oh, okay.
So we get to my other model. We'll come back to this one. All right. So here's the vagina. Here's the bladder.
Okay.
Right. And here's the cervix, and the uterus is here.
Amazing. And would this be like somebody our size? Or is that more like a ball? A baby?
This is a little small.
Baby doll. Okay.
It's just an anatomical model.
Okay.
Most women have a larger vaginal vaults and a larger uterus.
Got it.
So when we're looking this way, this is the rectum here.
Okay.
So the pelvic floor without testosterone will atrophy and it falls down. So when this falls down, the clitoris gets enveloped up into it.
Oh,
and I can't get to it.
Oh, got it.
When you start testosterone in those muscles, there's a whole collection of muscles that make up the pelvic floor. When those muscles start to come back online, the pelvic floor lifts back up. And here comes the clitoris.
And I'm like, oh, that's why I'm feeling something happy happening down there.
Nerve ending part, the glands. You're feeling the glands.
Oh,
the glands is coming back out.
Got it.
And now this can rub a little bit on your jeans.
Got it.
Just like it did when you were younger, but now you're like, hey, something is back.
That in a while.
Waking up.
Yeah,
it's a little distracting.
Yeah.
Now the rest of it, the legs and the bulbs,
okay,
they come more into play with stretch because these will wrap around the vaginal opening.
Okay.
So when there's intravaginal stimulus, this is where we get these stimulated.
Got it.
A little bit when you're sitting, but not as much. That's the glans clitoris that women feel.
Okay.
I had a woman call me once and say she was growing a penis.
I think you put that in your book, which is hilarious. Like,
well,
I don't blame her though, because like things do start to move around there.
If you over replace testosterone, like female bodybuilders, when they get to a male level of testosterone, it's a very rare thing, but they can experience something called clitoral megaly, where the clitoris does get very pronounced.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, it comes with some potential side effects.
I
So
would imagine.
we don't really want to push the body into an unnatural state.
Sure.
We also don't want to push the body into a 15 to 20-year-old state because nobody has time for that.
Right.
Healthy
Right.
30-year-old is exactly where we want to land. That's where we want to land. And so we want that clitoral presentation around a healthy 30-year-old version. So what you're feeling is the glans clitoris coming back into its normal presentation, as well as being able to get blood flow and nerve endings. Oh, what is that?
Thank you, testosterone.
I warn people that genes might be a little distracting that week,
Love it.
but then
Love it.
sex drive comes back.
Yes.
And
ignoring
orgasms
that.
come back.
Yes.
And in women
multiple orgasms.
who are postmenopausal, when we give them estrogen, then we get tissue integrity in the vaginal vault as well as secretions. And now sex doesn't hurt.
Correct.
Yeah.
You don't need as much lube, I've noticed.
You make your own.
It's like, yeah, exactly. I'm like, this hasn't happened for years. Like, thank you.
Yes.
HRT.
Yes.
And thank you, Kimberly.
So I wanted to bring this out to show that there's
Amazing.
one other point I want to point out,
Yes.
and that is the G spot.
Yes. That's
There is a G spot.
the infamous G spot.
and
Please
it's
tell us.
right here, right at the bottom.
So if this is your
So
vulva.
this is the vulva and vaginal opening. I'm going to click this guy back in here. To get to the G spot, turn him around. It's right here. So that it's into the vaginal opening and then up.
So in and
up.
Okay.
So if she is laying flat on her back, anything is inserted into the vagina and then making the turn around the pubic bone and going up towards the belly button. So in between either at the belly button or in between the belly button and the pubic bone, going straight up, that will hit right here, which is the nexus of all 5 parts of the clitoris. Now, when you're hitting it correctly, she should have an empty bladder the first time because it makes her feel like she has to void. She has to urinate.
Okay.
Because this right here is the urethra.
Got it.
So the urethra comes right through where the G spot is.
Got it.
So a sexual penetration, that's typically a male-dominated position or partner-dominated position, which would be a female on all fours with insertion from behind. And that would be one way to get to the G spot with penetration. Okay. Typically missionary style, you're not going to get to the G spot unless you use a toy that has a bend to it, the curve to it, or that's where manual stimulation can happen. And by the way, the bulbs, these bulbs hold fluid. And when G spot stimulus can elicit female ejaculation.
So is this where the ejaculation would come?
The ejaculation comes from the bulb.
Okay.
And
got it.
Out of this little model doesn't have them, but here's the urethra. Okay. And then here's the vaginal opening. And remember where the bulbs sit, right? They're going to go right next to the urethra. There are 2 little extra holes. Those are called the Skene's glands.
Oh.
Yeah, you have 2 other holes down there.
I had no idea. Oh, wow. And I've been in many of your talks. How did I miss that? Okay.
So right and left of the urethral opening where the pee comes out are the Skene's glands openings. And that is where female ejaculate exits.
Did you hear that? No more gaslighting. We do ejaculate.
Yes.
Some females. Obviously not all females, but it's a real thing.
Some females ejaculate a large amount. Remember I told you this can get 6 times its size.
Amazing.
That's a lot of fluid. Amazing. I had a patient once who'd never had any children experience female ejaculation for the first time. And she came in to have a chat with me because her gynecologist didn't have talked to her about it. And she goes, I felt like my water just broke. Oh, did my water just break? Oh, yeah, that's a lot. Most menopausal, never had a baby. Yes. And her partner was very excited that she was able to do that.
More moisture, more
So she has a pad down. Now. She's very good at it. She loves it. She has a blast with it and he likes it too. And partner's male. And then so they have a good time.
So tell me more about these toys.
Okay, let's talk about toys.
Yes.
So for clitoral stimulus, first we need to have the clitoris be healthy.
Okay.
And that is testosterone.
Yes.
I mean, it's just testosterone.
And I would also say, I would just add the GLP-1 as far as the blood sugar balancing. Because
so when we
I know that was a huge change for me.
So I have a different dosing schedule for testosterone when I add in a GLP-1, which is going to be a tirzepatide or semaglutide. Okay. They're almost all on tirzepatide in my practice. And that's brand name Ozempic and Mounjaro. Okay. And so For the GLP-1s, when you bring that sugar inflammation down, you bring all inflammation down. Testosterone, in addition to all the sexual wellness, is the most powerful anti-inflammatory I could put in someone. That's why everything hurts without it. So I don't need as much anti-inflammatory when I've brought down the inflammation already by fixing the blood sugar issue.
Nice.
So when I start a client on a GLP-1, I will lower their testosterone dose because they won't need as much.
Love that.
And we're going for perfect, not too much, not too little, just right.
And
So-
before you move on, I also want to give a heads up to my lady friends that a lot of times in our girlfriend conversations, we talk about how at this age, you just can't drink that much anymore. And specifically when you're on a GLP-1, that's a whole other thing. But also, you pointed out last time, it's the sugar, like the overload of sugar from the alcohol just drains everything out of you. And so we're, of course, about to jump into the fun and the toys. But when you're talking about having a couple of glasses of wine before sex and you're wondering why the orgasms aren't coming, like it might be the sugar load.
Well, and the actual alcohol itself. So any alcohol, even if you had tequila, which tequila by itself, a really high in sipping tequila, is actually a superfood because tequila is good for you.
And I do love me some tequila,
and
so
I
I'd love to hear that.
So any alcohol will increase something called sex hormone binding globulin,
Okay.
and that will temporarily lower your testosterone.
Well, there you
And
go.
so that'll, no matter sugar or not. Now, sugar makes it even worse. So a margarita-filled night is probably not going to be your best sexy night, but still attainable.
Yeah.
So with toys and with different choices,
Yes.
there are different shapes and there are different kinds of vibration.
I think you said there are like two main types, right?
So there's a trill and there's a rumble.
I always say hum for the rumble. Okay, so trill
And a rumble.
Okay.
So trill is going to be a higher frequency.
Okay.
So like almost like a tickle.
I don't like that one.
And then a rumble is going to be like a Harley, right?
I like that.
So it's a lot, it's a lower, deeper vibration.
Yeah.
Women who like a tickle, you give them a rumble and they feel like they're getting beat up. Women who like a rumble, you give them a tickle and it's just annoying.
Exactly.
I'm like, they need it to stop.
Oh, stop. Just stop already. Yes.
And every woman listening already knows which one she likes. And if not, you haven't been shopping yet, and that's fine. Get one of each. Well, let's talk about shape.
Okay.
And so this is the newbie Tula Bullet.
Oh, she's
So this is a rounded one.
Okay.
So this is going to be for someone who has a prominent clitoris that's very sensitive. So it's not as specific. It's more of a diffuse vibrator.
Okay.
It's a nice little shape. And so this one is going to be a round.
Okay.
And then we also have a pointed.
Oh.
So this pointed one is going to be more for a clitoris that is less sensitive, maybe has experienced some atrophy.
Okay.
Just takes more stimulus. And so a pointed one is going to be a lot more specific.
Sure.
And
Sure.
and again, someone who has a very sensitive clitoris, if she has a pointed one, she's not going to like it. Way too direct.
Yeah.
She's going to want more diffuse vibration.
Okay.
So this one happens to be a trill and this one happens to be a rumble.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And so we have these two. We also have, and this one is Nusensuelle, Nusensuelle, Nusensuelle.
Okay.
It's a great brand. And then we've got, this one is fun because it's got a nice shape to it.
Oh, does that help to get to the G spot then?
It can.
Yeah.
We're going to go in and up. This one can get to the G spot. It's a little bit flexible,
Interesting.
which is what you want for an insertion. We really don't want unforgiving, hard things to be inserted.
Yeah.
That's especially if there is other penetration in other areas that could lead to injury. So we always want anything inserted to have a little bit of give. And so this one, it can be pointed.
Love it.
Can be round.
Love it.
Can be inserted. So this one is fun. It's called the Lilac by Evolved. And so this one is different pressure points as well as exterior or interior. And this is also a rumble.
And for the friend that's asking, well, where do we buy these? Is this Kimberly's line? Which, by the way,
No, I don't
after your 10 jobs and projects you finish, we definitely will be encouraging you to start your own line.
It's funny. I've been asked a lot of times to have kind of like Tupperware party, but for toys. And there used to be a company that did that.
I actually did that. It was pure. It's been, solid 10 years.
They do it. Is it a company still?
They actually are still going because there's one lube I really like that I get from them. So it's very similar to our pH.
Well, there'll be a link to that in the show notes.
Yes, I'll give the link to that as well. Yes. And then one more link, Amber Joy with Quiver. She's in the second circle and she has a lot of great toys as well.
And she has a platform where people can go on and talk. And it's a
Perfect.
very private forum. She vets everyone on it, which is really nice. So it is women in their 40s, 50s, and 60s that want to talk about sexual wellness and want to talk about this toy or that toy, or this worked for me, this didn't, any suggestions. It's a really safe space to go and have a chat. So yeah, that's another good one as well. So for toy shopping,
Yes.
I have a couple more that we can show. This is by
Okay.
Playboy. And again, you've got that angle that you
Oh,
can
yeah.
get. You can get this
That's
one's a
not
little,
as
it's
giving,
it is
right?
still though. It still
Is it?
gives some. Yeah, and these are for
Oh,
display
yeah.
only, by the way.
Yeah.
I may or
Which
may
is the
not.
only reason I'm touching this, because she has not used them before. She promised me.
I may or may not have copies of some of these in my house, but these are the display ones that I take. One of these is a trill and one of these is rumble.
Perfect.
So same shape, but you can have the high pitched, you can have the low pitched. So those are options. And this one's by Playboy, which is a good brand. And then I do have one, not to leave them out, for the men.
Please.
So it's
Share
called the
more.
Tryst, Tryst. This was Toy of the Year for men when it first launched. It comes in 2 colors and 2 sizes. And so the entire horseshoe vibrates.
Oh.
And so the top vibrates, both legs vibrate. So this can tuck around the base of the penis under the scrotum.
Okay.
And these at the end get the erectile tissue that is between the scrotum and the anus. So the penis is much longer than just the shaft. As the scrotum hangs off where the testicles are, there's more erectile tissue behind that going towards the anus. And it rarely gets stimulated. And so this will get to that part.
Oh.
Typically, this is used for oral sex. Some people have said that they use this with penetrative sex. I think you'd get pinched.
Oh.
But if it works for you, that's great. But this one is super fun for the guys because they get the entire base of the penis as well as that extra part of the erectile tissue.
Amazing.
During an oral sex encounter. So it's called the Tryst, Tryst. It's for the guys. There's a whole book in there. You can use these vibrating tips for nipple stimulus, for clitoral pinching, and if someone's excited about that. But typically this one is for the guys. For toy shopping, let's be very clear. These are not refundable, non-returnable for obvious reasons. So when you go to your local shop here in Denver, I took a group of women, I've taken 2 now, to Fascinations. The store manager is lovely, and she's been our personal shopper both times. And we go down the wall of fun, and she gets out all the toys, and she takes them out of the boxes, and you can see how they work and try them on your inner wrist and see if you like
This
it.
is where it's more sensitive.
Well, you're not going to try it anyplace else.
Well,
The store.
Come on, this
Yes.
could be more sensitive than like the side, right?
So come on. So if you are not ready
Yeah.
at an adult store for them to take this out of the box, turn it on, and hold it up like the Statue of Liberty and say, okay, this works, before they turn it off and put it back in the box, well, there's a long line of people behind.
Right.
If you're not ready for that, you go online.
There you go.
And the places that you can shop safely is Fascinations. They do have a website.
Oh, fantastic.
There is a local store here in Denver. You can actually go to the store, which I always encourage. Go to the store, open the boxes, see if you
Feel
like
that
it.
out. And we're all adults there.
yeah.
That's the thing.
And they
Like,
want to
when
help
you're-
you.
Even when you're shy, try to just step a little out of your comfort zone, because everybody's there for a reason, usually similar reasons.
And sometimes
and they're very informed.
it's so much fun.
It's so much fun. Always.
This,
Well, for people like you and
it
me.
looks like a flower, and it does this suction, like pulling in thing.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I don't have one of those. I
haven't
should have
seen
got
it.
one. But it does that, and she put it on my hand, and I was like, whoa.
Hello.
That one didn't go on with us that day, but there's just things you wouldn't think of.
Right.
And so give it a try. A lot of times they are over $100. And again, non-refundable, non-returnable for all the obvious reasons. So it's worth it to go and try them out.
Absolutely.
The place you can shop safely is Amazon.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Makes-
Now, Amazon Prime return option is not a feature typically
Understandable.
with sexual toys.
Sure.
So if it shows up and it's not working, that's going to be a sad day.
Yeah.
So I just go to the store.
Yeah.
So this will come out of the box, will be turned on and tested in front of everyone at the store. Just be prepared for that.
No, I love that warning.
So if you're not ready for this to come out of the box, get turned on in front of everyone and declared functional, then you can shop online. And so Amazon is good. Fascinations is good, but also Quiver.
Yeah.
And she has a getting started kit that's very affordable.
Oh.
And it's a really nice way to dip your toe in the, what do I like? What feels good? What do I want more of? And what do I want less of? That's okay.
So smart.
Because everyone's clitoris is not like this model.
Right.
We are all different shapes and sizes, and different things feel good and different things feel less good. And So exploring that is really fun. So that's another safe place to go is the Quiver site.
Love that. And I'm
So-
so intrigued by this one.
Purple and black and regular and large.
Wedding anniversary is just around the corner, so
Mhm.
hot husband might be getting a fun gift
Awesome.
for everybody. Well, Kimberly, this has been stimulating,
Yeah.
all puns intended. So thank you for sharing the toys. Thank you for
Absolutely.
talking about how we can get our confidence back at midlife. I think I'm just going to make up our homework for this week because I feel like the first 2 episodes we had amazing homework. This time I think it's going to be to get more curious. Even if you're a professional and seasoned vibrator owner, get curious about treating yourself to something new. And then if you're on the other end where you're super shy and this is like way out of your comfort zone, just go online. Nobody's looking
Just
at
go
your
on.
browsing history. And if they are, go on the, you know what that's called? They like, not the dark web, the incognito. Go on the incognito tab and then you're definitely covered. But yes,
Go on.
encourage.
You should see my browsing history.
It's
I don't care.
well, with the
I'm
line of
researching
work, we
everything.
can get away with it.
I don't know. If somebody wants to see my browsing history, they are welcome.
We might get some laughs about that.
Because I'm researching peptides and I'm researching HRT and I'm researching sexual wellness and I'm researching healthy aging and I'm researching where to buy toys and because I'm up to date on all things for all of the talks that I give. So it's just a really fun collection of good times.
And so next week, please come back because one of the number one questions I get from my girlfriends, and it's the one that I had before I met Kimberly, which is I'm eating right, I'm doing all this exercise, and I'm still gaining weight. We're going to talk about that inside and out next week. So come back because she's got a lot of amazing answers to help you feel better in your body. Is there anything else you want to chat about before we move on?
I just want to go back and say it's about how you feel and it's about how you're functioning.
Yes.
So if you're not functioning and
Yes.
feeling good, find somebody like me who can help you get there. And just know that it's not over at any age.
Thank you.
My oldest patient who had a sexual wellness conversation with me was 87.
Yes, I'm
87.
loving that.
Yes, she's amazing. She's in my book. There's a story about her in there. But she came in to have an appointment with me because she was having sex and it was painful because she got herself a boyfriend. She
As
said-
she should.
Oh, she was widowed for 25 years before she got herself a boyfriend.
Oh, good for her.
So we had a conversation of how to have healthy, pain-free, enjoyable sex. Still my patient, and she's 89 this year. Yeah. So it is never it's never a give up.
Yes.
It's I live in this body and I want to get every drop of fun out of this body because I only get the one.
Absolutely.
And I want to make sure I'm doing all of the things to where when I have things that I want, like a sexual relationship and sexual activity, it's there for me. So I just want to encourage people to never, ever think that you are past the things that you want to do.
Never give up. Thank you, Kimberly.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for listening to Nourish with Michelle Fox. Were you driving, folding laundry, or maybe walking around the neighborhood? Perfect. I've got you covered with show notes over at michellefox.com/podcast. When you're ready, you will also find resources to support what you've learned in today's conversation, plus a few health supportive freebies waiting just for you. If you enjoyed this episode, it would mean the world if you left a review on whichever podcast platform you're currently listening from. Your support helps me continue my mission of building healthier communities. This 8-part series is my effort to help more women stop suffering in silence and start feeling strong, confident, and seen. I am grateful to be on this journey with you. Big love.